Hey, I'm Sid.
And I'm Mike.
And this is Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday.
The podcast.
And I'm Carl.
Carl's back.
Carl is here today.
The
flesh.
Yeah, I thought you guys weren't going to call me today.
No, we did. We said it was going to be virtual, but here you are.
Oh, I was supposed to be doing this from home?
Yeah.
I don't have the setup for that.
You don't?
No, I don't.
We sent it to
Yeah,
you.
we sent you.
I
setup.
sold that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, in the fire sale?
A long time ago. Yeah. I used to buy this shirt.
Yeah. Nice. We love
It's a
the
great shirt.
It's a great on-camera shirt. So
Appreciate that.
I guess we're glad that you're here literally and not virtually.
I hope it looks good on this chair. Speaking of making things look good on camera, we are the comedy filmmakers, filmmakers who are here to talk about comedy filmmaking on a podcast.
The Journey.
The Journey.
Yeah. We're filmmakers forced into the medium of audio.
That's true, except that
It was a
filming.
choice.
We're filming. Don't you know? Hey,
wait, there's
did
cameras?
you know that there's cameras here?
Are we
You can
filming?
watch us on YouTube.
Wait, there's cameras.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you
we're-
can watch us on Patreon also.
I was just going to say.
You were going to get to that?
Oh, we're filming stuff that's not even available on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, it's available on YouTube. It's an unlisted link. If you know about YouTube, if you're in the minutia of YouTube, let's get granular with it, okay?
Yeah.
What's
Most
the
of our-
breakdown? You
most-
have
look,
private videos.
I've gotten messages from our listeners that they are in the minutia. They
Yeah.
dwell in the minutia.
Let's break it down. You've got private videos, okay? Those are videos that only you can see.
Yes.
And people who are logged in. All right. Then you've got unlisted.
Right.
Anyone with a link can see that video.
Okay, so I can have a video that I've posted to YouTube, and then nobody else can see that unless they have a link?
I think
Exactly
that
that.
you should both create a program that's downloadable. You could start selling it online about how YouTube works.
Yeah.
And I think you guys could make a lot of money.
Well,
Yeah.
we want to open up some windows into like people's ability.
We could call it Windows. That's a good
I love
name.
that.
That's a good
I love
name.
that. Shit.
Wow.
All right.
We're
I was
We're
gonna,
on to
I was
something.
gonna say
All right,
like
let's-
my grandfather's last name, my great grandfather's last name was McIntosh. I was gonna say maybe we could do that just because I'm white and I want to name it after myself.
Let's do it both. Put those sandwiches together.
Windows Macintosh.
I love it.
I love
I
it. That's a
love
name
that.
for a kid. I love that.
You can,
wow.
you know what? You claimed it. You can have it.
What is happening right now? Where are we?
We're gonna shut the whole thing down and roll out a tech company that explains.
Oh, then you got scheduled videos. So scheduled videos are videos that are gonna be public, but you set the date for it. And then
Right.
finally, you've got a published public video.
Right.
And we're all familiar with those. If you've watched anything on YouTube,
That's what
you've
you
probably
watched.
watched.
That's what you watched.
Yeah. If the only thing you've ever watched on YouTube is an unlisted link, you're cool. Like, give us a call. Let us know like what your name is and stuff. We want to know.
Gosh.
Hey.
So the minutia, the minutia listeners, that was for you.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Sid.
It's that time of the podcast, right, Carl?
It is.
I got a thumbs up
We might
from
as well.
Carl.
We might
So,
as well.
it's a Peloton check-in.
The Peloton check-in.
How
Well,
are you?
so
How you feeling?
you guys know that I was the elevators were out.
Are they still out?
They were out the following day also. So
You
yeah,
did some more up and down?
Yeah, I did more up and down on the stairs. That was the Peloton stairs. The bike has been doing its job.
Holding your shackets.
Yes. Yeah. Well, now that the weather is warming up, yeah, it's.
You're thinking about riding a real bike
Well, no, we've got
outside?
that definitely that. But we've got like, so now we're transitioning our closet out of our winter clothes into our summer clothes. And so the Peloton is being heavily used.
Yeah, what do
For
they
that
call it? It's sort of
transition.
like what they call that space a staging area.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
the staging
I love that.
area.
Yeah,
Yep.
when you're working with a lot of stuff, you want to have a staging area.
Yeah.
Great.
So good for that.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. You did the Peloton.
That's right. That's right.
You're working out. Oh shit. I was having a lot of anxiety about writing copy for this Brockshot commercial that I just decided to start doing in the middle of our podcast.
Yeah.
But then I suddenly don't have that anxiety anymore. I'm feeling very like not anxious, and I'm wondering if maybe it could be
The Brock shot?
the Brockshot. That's
Oh my
helping
gosh, yeah.
me with the anxiety.
Yeah, I also have been, so you got me on the Brock shot for a week. This is Brock Lesnar. So basically, wrestler, WWE superstar Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he'll come to your house
Yeah.
and he will do a shot of either tequila or rum.
Yeah, off of you. You would think that you would be doing the body shot off of Brock Lesnar,
But
That's what was my mistake.
The way he does that shot is he's actually sucking some of the toxins out of your body.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's why you two are feeling so great.
That's why we've been running the show so well so far. And
thanks, Brock Lesnar.
Again, we should mention for the first time on this episode that we are not doing scripted episodes right now because of the Writers Guild strike.
That's right.
So usually our episodes are fully written and months in advance and memorized, but we stopped writing them just out of solidarity. So solidarity with WGA.
Yeah.
And thank you for having solidarity with us, having solidarity with WGA.
Right. Thank you for supporting us, supporting WGA.
Good luck to us all.
Sid, how was your week?
My week has been great. Did that sound? Was that good?
Are you sure?
Do you need another read?
Yeah. Can we get
take two?
Take it back to
Actually,
Second sticks.
my week has been great. I had some really great family time. My dad was here, and that was very special.
Shout out to Mark.
And it was really great. I wrote.
Yes.
We love to hear that.
The script was good.
I haven't read it yet.
I rested.
I thought you were going to say wrestled.
Wrestled myself.
Brock Lesnar.
Y'all, I'm not a part of that squad, the Brock squad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we wanted to test it on some animals before we let you use it.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Did your
what does your Crohn's friend reported back with? Oh wait.
We haven't really brought that up on the
Well,
show
you
yet.
guys-
We just cut it.
Got
We
no
just cut it.
context for it.
Oh, well.
This is the part of the podcast.
No,
we'll
backtrack.
Yeah, roll
That's
it back.
gone.
Rolling
You
it back.
guys, you know what? Oh, I was going to be vulnerable, but we rewound, so I'm not going to be.
Fast forward. Sid's being vulnerable.
Yeah, no, this is going to be the part of the podcast where I tell everyone I have Crohn's disease.
Oh my
For the
gosh.
first time, it took 14 episodes, but here we are. And honestly, I really had to rest this weekend. And thank y'all for being really good teammates for
Yes.
me. That's it. If anyone wants to talk about Crohn's, just hit me in the DM.
Yeah, Sid can be your.
That's all the airtime it gets on the pod, baby.
That's right.
Sid can be your
Today.
Crohn's connection. Yeah, just email her at crohnsnyc@gmail.com.
And
Well, here's the thing. You know, the world has a lot of hardship and suffering, and there's people going through it all the time. And our friend Sid and our collaborator Sid was going through it yesterday with her Crohn's. She needed some help taking over the social media posts for the day, and we were able to just jump in and do that.
We did that shit.
Because we know that sometimes the answer is to be the answer to the question or the problem that you are faced with. And that is our topic of the week.
it is our topic,
Be the answer.
but I also
Right.
do want to do a quick check-in with both of you. You had a good week?
Good week. Yeah.
Feeling motivated? Feeling good?
I've got
The
garden.
vibe is high.
I've got the garden going in the backyard. I've got food cooking. I'm making a pork butt right now as we speak.
Mm.
I'm feeling good. And I also wrote. I haven't sent you guys the thing yet, but I also wrote.
Very impressive.
Nice. I had a great week. Mother's Day was really, really wonderful. We had a good day. The little one was being so stinking cute for Mother's Day. Very cute, very cool. I finished a new list of 10. Actually, there were 12 ideas on there, but I think I had sent at least 2 of those to you guys.
2 of them were ideas for something else. They
I
were
only-
trying to pass off as sketch ideas.
No, I just copy and pasted it.
I only read 10 ideas because 12 is too much. And you know the rule. It's 10 or nothing.
Yeah. I dinged you. I took a couple points off your license for that, but
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
We're good.
yeah, we're
crushing it.
We're crawling into the swing of things.
Another week in the books.
Yeah.
We were the questions and the answers this week.
We were the questions and the answers.
I was just, it could use some work. I was just auditioning the phrase. We can cut that.
I don't think we can now. I think we're obligated to keep it in.
Pivotal.
We are talking about being the answer and what that means to us. And we're coming in from a pretty woo-woo motivational point of view, I think. But it's because the story of our guest is kind of inspiring. And we also, I think, have learned a little bit about this in the last year or so about being the answer, stepping up to the plate. I think when we talked to Dave Ebert a couple weeks ago, he mentioned that a lot of creative agencies are looking for somebody who has a lot of strong opinions and ideas for what they want. And they want somebody who's going to walk into the room and answer all these questions. And so they want somebody to be the answer.
And you know what doesn't go well with that is super duper people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah.
Not just people pleasing.
But super duper people
exactly.
pleasing. Well, here's the thing, like, and a lot of people who are in hiring positions don't really know that. They don't know that they don't want to be people pleased. But when you are being people pleased, sometimes
it's not good for anybody involved.
Yeah, quality can suffer.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about art.
All right, Carl.
But if I'm trying to make you happy, and all I want is for you to be happy, and I'm doing a really good job and really hard, working really hard at it, then it's going to be good. It's going to be good. You're going to like it.
Hey, listen. You make me happy just by showing up every day.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's right.
I love those
Sid.
moments of the pod.
It's true for you, too.
Thanks, dogs.
Hey, let's take a little break and I'll do a little group hug. Right?
Yeah.
I have a message for Brock Lesnar. Brock, I challenge you to a 4-man health nut competition. We're going to compare our supplements and our granola intake. We're going to look at our calories and how much we're working out. Brock Lesnar, if you don't fear me, you're going to come down and see me, Uncle Carlo, at Champ's Diner. I'm just being told it's called Rose's Diner, formerly known as Champ's Diner. It's a vegan diner, and we're going to see who's the healthiest guy. Brock Lesnar, you've been saying that your shots are healthy. I want to know the truth. So you're going to tell it to me on Sunday.
Sunday.
If you have Crohn's, you might consult a doctor before meeting up with Brock and Carlos.
Hey, guys, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday, the podcast. It's a beautiful Monday.
It is a nice Monday.
I'm feeling neighborly.
Mm.
Yeah, like Mr. Rogers. You know,
Yeah.
like
That I love.
yeah.
Like it's a beautiful day in the
It's
neighborhood.
a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Won't you be my
My
neighbor?
neighbor.
Hello, neighbor.
Welcome back to Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday. Today we are talking about being the answer, and I just want to thank our sponsors for being the answer to all our financial problems.
Yes.
Super helpful.
Yeah.
Great to have you guys backing us up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's much else to talk about except to just jump into our next segment. What do you think?
I love that idea.
Let's go.
That means we're going to talk to our guest. All right. He was born gay and was raised a SoCal boy, and he turned into a New Yorker. You may recognize him as the singing voice of Santa Claus in the 2010 holiday classic, The Search for Santa Paws, or as featured ensemble member in the Emmy Award-winning production of Live from Lincoln Center's Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, or as the manliest bass to ever walk into Disneyland's Main Street, USA as a Dapper Dan.
That's right.
Wow.
Not a hip swivel in sight.
Hate crime.
Look, aside from
I knew I recognized him.
there's more.
Oh.
I was given a tract. So aside from the time on the silver screen and local stages, he also works as a director and photographer. Most notably, he just ended his biggest production of his life so far, working for nearly 9 years, overseeing the image expression of the COVID darling brand Peloton.
Damn.
He was laid off recently and is now available for hire.
Hey.
Isaac James is here.
It's me.
Isaac James, welcome.
Hey.
Wait, I want to do my Peloton check-in.
Yes.
So, Isaac, have you checked in with that Peloton? We're checking in with you.
That's great. I haven't ridden it this week. Let's go.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
I'm so happy you're here today.
I'm sorry, I have a little Sid voice right now.
The topic this week, Isaac, welcome to the podcast.
I am so happy to be here. I have not been sitting listening silently, dying to jump in the entire time.
No, you just got here. Like
been
most
living.
of our guests, we do
I
the
just
A block
walked in.
before the guest gets here because our guests
That's
are
right.
busy.
You guys came and picked me up on your group hug.
Right. We did our little group hug.
Yeah.
It was a traveling group hug.
I also, before we jump in and go any further, I do need you to know I did take UCB improv classes. I did fail. So like,
There's no fail. There's
there
no
was
fail.
and she found it. But some will be home runs and some will be bombs.
That's great.
But the bombs are fun.
We
I
drop
like the
bombs all the time on this show.
Sometimes
That's what we do. Look, there's nothing there, but in post we're gonna put a little
Yeah,
bomb
yeah.
sound effect. It's gonna go.
Is it a bomb or a fart?
Well,
wait.
no, this one's the fart.
We were thinking about what we wanted this episode to be. We knew that we just wanted to hang with you on the podcast, but we were like, well, what should our topic be? And I was like, well, did you guys know that Isaac a while back was working reception for a little startup, a little internet startup, a little fitness company. And they didn't have much in the way of social media content. And you were taking headshots for actors, right? At the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been shooting since I was 13. My brother bought me my first camera when I was 13, and I started a lawn mowing business to be able to afford having my film processed when I was like a
Entrepreneur.
kid. That's right, $15 for the front, $25 for the front and back.
And that's
Right?
still true.
That's
Yeah.
a deal.
That's still
Honestly,
true.
with inflation, it's still true. Except the houses in those neighborhoods go for way more than $30,000, which is what my parents bought our first house for.
Oh, you were mowing houses. Got it.
Oh,
Mowing
I
lawns.
so you've been taking photos since you were 13,
Mhm.
entrepreneured your ass some photo development
Mhm.
to get those photos. Did you like, what did you, when you were 13, what was your photography goal? Like, were you just liked doing it, or did you actually like?
Did I like doing it? I for some reason there was like an obsession, and I didn't know. I guess it's like when you watch dancers who have danced since they were a kid, and that's all that they've known. It's all I've known. It was the one thing that I felt like I could express something that I too, very similarly to one of your previous hosts, grew up in a very specific religious organization. And our ability to express ourselves fully wasn't like, I couldn't do that myself, but I could do that.
Which one was it?
The Assemblies of God, Baptist, Pentecostal, evangelical Christians. Hallelujah.
Wow, we really attract them.
You
Tongues?
really do.
Tongues? Did they do the?
They do the tongues.
Oh my goodness!
And I did the tongues.
Oh.
I didn't do those tongues, but I just did tongue stuff. You know?
You, you only did like tongue stuff, like over the clothes. tongue
Yeah,
stuff.
only over the clothes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
So you have been a photographer forever,
Yeah.
which landed you a reception spot at this small startup.
Well, I mean, I was also an actor. So that little poopity poop blurb before, that was an actor. So I like spent about 10 years of my life performing in Southern California as a full-time performer
Oh yeah.
prior
and
to moving to New York.
I recommend doing karaoke with Isaac because
It's a lot of fun.
You can get a karaoke night going with Isaac and Lindsay together. It's a show.
if everybody wants to put together a
You guys do
karaoke night, just email us at sydandmikenyc@gmail.com and we will set up the event.
I have a very low booking fee.
15 for the front, 25 for the front and back.
You were working like full time as a reception.
I wasn't. So I was working part-time. So I was working as an actor in New York and a photographer. So Monday through Friday, I was there 4:15 every morning. By 10:30, I was
Gross.
taking my disgusting, but also they would pay for your cabs if you worked before 6. So
Oh, there you go.
it was nice.
Fab.
Super fab.
Perks.
It was wonderful.
Let's
So I
talk
was like,
about
yeah, sure, of course, let's do it. Because at lunch at 10:30, I would go up to Pearl Studios or whichever studios and like sign up for my auditions because I was equity. And then I would go back down to the studio, close the studio out, then run back up and do my auditions throughout the day. And that happened like 2-3 times a week. But I was working pretty regularly, either like shooting or auditioning and working at Peloton. How the story goes is I had asked if I could borrow some clothes to shoot for free because at the time they had just had a bunch of like branded clothes made. I shot a class for free. I shot an event for free. The whole like reason why I asked to do all those things for free, because they sent an email that had one of my best friends as the model in a picture that was, it was lovely. But I remember looking at that and being like, oh, I could totally help them. And like, I didn't imagine it would be anything special. but I essentially like shot all of those things for free and then created a like spiral bound proposal that is really beautiful. And I still have one copy to this day. And it essentially outlined how the brand would look if they had one person generate all their content versus having like a bunch of different content being generated by piecemeal here and there by whoever's touching it for whatever reason. So they're like, we'll take this to the people at the headquarters next week. And as I was leaving, the woman who I asked to borrow the clothes from to shoot was Jill Foley, who's John Foley, the CEO and founder, his wife. She headed up the whole apparel business. Saw me walking out the door and she goes, hey, whatever happened to the pictures that you said that you were going to take with the clothes that I let you borrow? And I was like, oh, funny. I literally just presented it to Marianne downstairs and she said that she'll share it with you next week. And she was like, well, do you have a copy on you? And I had just given my 5 copies to them downstairs. And the only copy that I had left, and I told her this, I was like, the only copy I have left is my final copy that I make that has all my notes in it that I then made all my edits to and made my final print. So like, it has like scribbles all over it. I don't think you want it. And she was like, no, it's fine. Just give it to me. And so I gave it to her and it was like a movie. And it was something that I kind of like, when in retrospect, I know that my life changed in that moment. It was like that moment when I like handed it to her because she looks at me and she goes, this is great. John and I are in the car and we're heading out to the Hamptons. And so this is good reading content. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to see all my notes. Like everyone's going to like, I felt like I was like, I put in all that work to be caught with my pants down.
Yeah. But
you know
don't
what
you
I
think
mean?
like when you are showing those bones to people who can appreciate the amount of work that in the amount of thought they can actually see the amount of thought that you put
Right.
into it as
Right.
opposed
That's
to just like
interesting.
seeing the
It became
final.
a no-brainer for them, I think.
Yeah.
Like especially after working there as long as I did and knowing the like the core tenets of like the company and the people that they like to hire, I know 100% they really appreciated that.
That's interesting that you made notes on your own on your own pitch.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at being objective, even with my own work. Sometimes I can get lost in it a bit, but I do pride myself in being able to kind of see a bigger picture and be able to step back. And like, I love criticism. I love critiques. I love learning. I love hearing every perspective that I can hear.
So just to take a step back, so you saw an image of a model,
like modeling clothes,
right? And you were like,
In
and
an
you saw a
email.
problem with it. You saw that there was
It could be better.
Well, I knew that I knew that the skills that I had could be of service to something that I was like, oh, I know I can help this. I know I can help this. I don't know to what degree, but I know I can help this. One thing that I do think is like interesting is about the whole even like idea of like knowing and like what voice in you says, I know. Like I knew that I could be of service and they could benefit by having me. And what was that voice? And I will tell you a quick anecdote. So as you can tell from my bio, I was a performer in Southern California, and I took a Meisner intensive when I was 18 years old.
It's great to see you.
Thank you.
It's great. It's great to see you.
No, it's great to see you.
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 now
It's
both of you
great
taste
to
this
see
lemon.
you.
Okay.
No, I don't like improv, you guys.
Too bad.
I'm already nervous about the whole bit section.
You're in the bit section.
I know.
it.
I know. I was more specifically talking about the pitch section, but
Oh yeah. You're ready.
what was I talking about? So
Meisner.
cut to first day of Meisner class. I'm an 18-year-old who's still closeted, if you can believe it.
Nobody knew. You had everyone fooled.
Well, I mean, as my mom said, we had hoped you made better decisions. So. No, so my first day in my Meisner class, the teacher said, we're going to stop you multiple. He was like, I'm going to stop you multiple times throughout your work whenever you're doing scene work for the next few weeks. Again, it was an intensive. So we were in these classes for like 40 hours a week. And he said, I'm going to ask a lot of very personal questions. And the one thing that you're not allowed to respond to my questions with is, I don't know. And if you feel as a person that you don't think you know the answer, that's fine. We all will sit here and we will wait until you find that voice that's in you that tells you what the answer is. And like, as an 18-year-old, and like, I think about that even to this day. And I was very fortunate to be able to be in a position where I managed a team of like 30 to 40 people. And like, I very much like push this on everyone. Like, you have the power to know like what is right and wrong for you, and you can feel it. And it was like that exact moment, like when I got that email, like there was that, like I say this to people, like I feel that like sense of truth in my spine, like my spine gets warm.
The work that you were showing me, a lot of times I was like, man, you really have an eye, and you have a gut that it felt like you knew how to follow your gut, and that's exactly what we're talking about.
So you were ready, and you knew exactly what it was and what you could offer and everything. Was it like, so what was it that prepared you? Was it doing all of your own stuff for all those years? Was it like what were you shooting when you were a kid? And what led you to
you
that
know what's
confidence?
interesting is I dealt with this like inner turmoil for so long, being an actor and being a photographer, as like knowing like at one point I'm going to have to choose one or the other. And that I think is honestly, like I was able to like walk this line of like, I was exposed to storytelling via theater and working in the industry. And then I was also working as a photographer in the industry as well. And like working with other actors and like constantly networking. And like, I genuinely felt like I was going somewhere. I was going somewhere with no purpose. And I look back at that and I feel such like shame and sadness for that person, because in retrospect, the years I did both those things, performing, telling stories, being on stage, and shooting and telling stories, and like a snapshot, those things prepared me to be able to do what I did as well as I did. And fortunately that snowballed into me also working in motion and me being able to like direct a crew of 60 people and not be intimidated by it. Like,
but in the moment you felt like you were like, you felt directionless, and you felt
right. I was just doing,
you weren't enjoying it.
I was just, no, of course I was enjoying it. I was just doing two things that I loved.
Right.
But I didn't think, like, I knew I was like, either one day my acting is going to take off and I'm not going to have time to shoot, or one day my photography is going to take off and I'm not going to have time to act. And little did I know, like, yes, the photography took off and then that turned into creative directing, but the acting and the performing and the being on stage and reading a room and all the shit that I spent 10 years of my life, like, cultivating, like, I can literally read people in a room and they don't even realize it. It's like, I'm like a witch in an environment
doing
of
it this
like
whole time?
squares.
Wait.
But that's a really
to Carl. No, I'm just kidding.
Carl's feeling.
but that's a really good reminder.
We'll be right back. No, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to it on this podcast.
What's a good? Why? It's a good reminder for what?
I don't even remember what I was talking about. No, I lost my thought. It is a great reminder for all of us when we feel a little lost and we are impatient for something to happen right now, or we're just not clear, that everything happens for a reason. And maybe not that, but wherever you go, everything along your path helps you, and it's all valuable.
Also, the answer does lie within you. I think that's such an interesting, like, I've never heard that exercise.
I feel so motivated with how confident you learn to listen to your gut feelings and have an answer. And just personally, that's something that I really struggle with, is making choices sometimes and listening to myself without thinking, what does everyone want? What's the right thing to do?
Right.
The voices are, for me, very loud, and something that I've been struggling with in general, and this podcast has helped, is finding my voice, because I lived my whole life to now without that skill, without really grounding down and honoring what is important to me, which is always, that's when the good stuff happens, because you're in alignment, you're true to yourself. And I definitely have lost my way. So I'm motivated and I appreciate it.
Of course. And I think as a challenge, it's good to think the next week, anytime that you say, I don't know, I think you'll be shocked
My
how many times you say it.
therapist for a long time would say, tell me what you do know, when I would say that.
Let's challenge ourselves.
It's so hard to like completely remove it from your vocabulary, because it's like, you do know. Sorry, what's the challenge? Let's do a challenge.
Do it this week. Let's all try it. And we're in a situation where we're like,
This
I don't
week?
know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This guy.
I will say in therapy, I did have to deal with the fact that I am too decisive. And like my boss for years was like, "You're the most decisive creative I think I've ever worked
Should
with."
we?
And in therapy, my therapist,
I want some of that.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think like if I could share some of it, I would give you some.
Yeah, pump some of that brain ooze this way.
I don't like the
Is it-
pump is kind of a weird word.
Pump
And that
ooze.
lives
We'll be right back.
indefinitely.
squeeze out some of that brain juice.
So
Gross.
It's
I don't
so gross.
understand
Honestly, I blacked out. I think it disassociated talking about the brain shit.
well,
So
oozing answers.
Oozing answers.
oozing confidence is that's the more striking thing about you. When I first met you, it was like much like you said your boss said. I was like, damn, this guy knows the answers to the questions. And I remember feeling like, man, how does he just do that? And I think that what Sid's talking about of the journey of getting there and feeling like you've lost your way. Like, I think we all go through that. And I think we go through cycles of like, oh, I suck as a writer. We talked about this, like, oh, I don't feel like I'm a writer right now. You are, but maybe in the moment, you need to take a walk. That's a reference to another episode.
I love taking a walk.
Break away if you're
Well,
speaking to yourself like that.
My first time meeting Isaac was much different because there was conflict immediately.
Was there conflict?
There was conflict immediately.
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, and I think that this is a perfect time to clear the air.
Thank God.
Because we'll
be right back.
No, everybody stay. We're going to break. You stay right where you are. We were on the set of our biggest sketch up to that point, Blackaroni and Cheese,
starring Kenan Thompson.
That's
Kenan
right.
Thompson,
At a
and
high
it
school.
was
It was like a gym, like a fellowship hall of a church.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was great.
Fellowship hall of a church.
And all of a sudden, there's somebody I don't know on this set with a camera.
Oh my God, that's
shooting
right.
stuff, and I was
This
like,
did
"Who
happen.
the fuck is this?" Because I go up and I'm like,
Oh my
"Hey,"
God.
it was like, "Hi, this is Isaac," and then it was the ice was broken and it was amazing. I must say.
I
some of
was
the
going to
greatest
talk about
shots.
that
But
shoot.
I was ready. I was walking over there like, "Oh, this guy."
I was just like lurking
Who's-
with like a big camera, of course. I would
Yeah.
probably do the same thing.
Oh, and
No,
then
you-
they're like, "No, he's shooting," and those are the best on-set photos that
For
we
sure.
have.
Yeah.
I'll come hang out
And we'll put
someday.
some in the
Yeah, we'll
on
drop it.
Patreon.
Yeah.
You got to go to Patreon
The
to see these,
IMDb.
maybe. I
I'm
don't
going to put them on the carousel on IG, but you can put them on Patreon.
And I'm
Yes.
going to drop them in the show notes.
And we'll put some right here. Carl loves it when I do. We'll put it. Here's one. Here's one.
Here's a little dancing clown. Go, Will. Good job.
hey.
You're welcome, Carl.
So, Isaac, you are a very decisive person.
As a decisive person, do you know when you're around another decisive person right away?
Yes, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And it's not a competitive thing. It's like sometimes it's like I'm exhausted and I get to take a break. You know what I
And
mean?
it's such a refreshing thing because you're not decisive people and people with confidence are not apologizing for their existence.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still feel like the anxiety that one might feel if, I don't know, they drop something in their neighbor's backyard. Like I still would feel that. Like I still do feel it. Like I
That's
genuinely
very specific.
No, but like I
Example.
genuinely, like when I, for instance, flooded my neighbor's apartment with my bathtub. It's happened multiple times. The amount of shame to this day, when you know those like memes of people waking up in the middle of the night remembering something, it's this. It's the water flooding my fucking hallway and me being like, I don't have enough fabric to soak up this water and someone's gonna bang on my fucking door. I know it. So like, trust me, I feel just as much as I am decisive.
When you feel like that, how do
Yeah.
you get yourself back on track?
I usually cry.
My guy.
Oh,
Feel the emotions.
No, I usually like let out a good cry and then I realize shit's not that deep. Or I'll put on like beaches or I'll put something on that I'm like, I need to let it out. Usually it's a cry fest and
That's something Sid is always. She's like, I'm like, how are you today? She's like, great. I just cried. And I'm like,
It's a release.
I
and
love crying.
I cry, to be honest, I cry a lot less than I used to, but it is very important. And it means that things are shifting. And it means if you're conscious about it, that you're really letting things go. And it's good stuff. People say it's not.
Oh, you cry a lot because you're processing things.
And shame
Oh,
of being alive
wow.
on this planet. No, but just
Yeah.
because I have feelings and I am processing, and it could be anything. It could be good tears, bad tears. No,
Sid's going through a neurological leap right now. She's changing
a
things in her life.
leap.
Yeah, she's in the chrysalis stage.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the goo. You know, in the goo.
Cocoon.
Yes.
Yeah, inside the cocoon, there's not like a caterpillar changing. There's just a bunch of goo.
There's just a bunch of goo.
That becomes,
and she's in the goo?
She's in the goo right now. I spent a lot of time in the goo several years ago. I'm out of the goo. I'm a beautiful butterfly.
You mean,
now.
wait, are you talking about Goop? You talking about Gwyneth Paltrow's
Goop.
company?
Oh crap.
No, Crap. Crap is the Rock's lifestyle magazine.
Right.
Crocs?
Crocs.
Crocs is Crap's biggest sponsor. So Crap, the magazine, center of every magazine is a Crocs ad with.
Is this a bit?
Fold down.
Wait.
Is this real?
It's
Does Brock have anything to do
this
with
isn't
this?
real.
Brock.
Oh my
Brock
God,
has to do with the Crocs and the cracks.
Croc Shot is a new supplement that you take with your feet.
In a croc. They're small crocs.
You better take it faster. It spills out the hole.
The reason we're getting into the lies and silly stuff is because we're getting so close to fake pitches. But
Oh,
we're not
yeah.
there yet.
Oh my God, I see what you're trying to do.
We're
You're
not
trying
there
to
yet.
warm me up. That's why I
Yes.
was confused because
Yes.
I understand your reality.
We're not there yet. I want to skip ahead.
Let's skip ahead.
We
Anal.
anyway.
Oh man, wow, what stories.
Let's talk about now. We've been talking about the past. Let's talk about now. So now you've moved on from Peloton. You did some great stuff there.
He's in the goo of his next chapter.
It's true. You're in the goo.
You know what? I will say thank you, Motivation Monday. This whole conversation is coming at a really good point in my life because it has been over about 6 months since the severance, and I've worked there for a long time. So I've gone through like my own little emotional journey and like saying my goodbyes, and like where I am now as like a creative and a human and a person. I'm like excited to be among other people because I definitely like hermited myself, but this is also very inspiring for me because if this was 2-3 weeks ago or a month ago, I would have been a different version of myself than I am right now. And like I just finished my website and I just finished like a number of different things, and I'm like, okay, things are starting to happen, inquiries are starting to come in. Like I'm starting to apply for jobs, blah, blah, blah. Like all of that stuff is happening. So
it sounds like you may have done this, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice that was so helpful for us, and that is to take stock and to really. I don't know. It sounds like you did it when you made your website.
When you say take stock, you mean like the ones that they give you?
Vegetable stock.
I mean, you look back at all your body of work, and you really like sit in it, and you'll realize, oh my God, like I've done so much. And you know, you've got that first binder and what you have done from that first binder through all of that other work. And then you're like, I don't know, when you look back at your body of work and when you're in a transitional period, that's when that's when we were told to look back at our body of work. It was like, I don't think that we had really realized how much stuff we had created. And like the quality and the time and all this stuff, because we were, you're on that treadmill and you're just going, or bike, cycle, whatever you're on, you're just going.
You got to get on it to go.
It's a good sign when you look at your past work and it becomes a confidence booster as opposed to a thing where you're like, oh man, I didn't really nail that one, or I didn't really get exactly what I wanted out of that shot. Now, when I look at some of the stuff that we've done together, I'm like, God, this is great stuff. When you put us on a set with our script, like we're gonna deliver, and like it's become this confidence booster as opposed to feeling like, oh God, I want to be back on set so bad.
Doing my book, I will say, was the biggest thing that, like, the best thing that I could do for my mental health, and like over the past 6 months was like working on my book, and I took 2 months to do it.
Yep,
but
And a book is
my website,
portfolio,
right. Your
portfolio, my website.
Do you have a video reel on there as well?
Yeah, so I have all my photography on there. I have all my film work. I have
put
all
a
my
link in the
motion
show
work
notes if
and my
you'd like.
creative directions all on there.
Yeah.
So I mean, people don't have to go and see it, but you can if you want.
It's in the show notes. So what do you like? So everything what Mike is saying about taking stock is like, let's say you've done it to some degree. What's something that you see for yourself? Like, let's manifest a next
It's that part
project
of the
or next
episode.
stage of the career or whatever you think.
So I want to come back in 6 months.
Yes, and what are you going to tell us?
I am working on telling the story of my grandmother's illegal immigration to the United States through the voices of her children, who are both in Mexico and in the United States, who are also obviously like my mom and my aunts, but through the lens of a grandson who was never able to meet I met my grandmother. I knew my grandmother, but my grandmother never spoke English and I never spoke Spanish. And she died when I turned 20. So like she died without us ever having an actual conversation together. But the feeling
Do you think that coming out killed her?
I think that like she didn't. I honestly like don't think that she gave a fuck.
I was just putting together the timetable.
I don't think that she
okay?
gave a fuck.
I'm so sorry.
To be honest with you,
Excellent
I
work.
wish that she. I mean, did she? I never came out to her. I didn't come out to her, but I don't think that I needed to.
I'm sorry. Okay, go back. I could
Top
not
notch
resist
stuff.
that.
Way to go.
Anyway, wait.
I'm fucking pissed.
So is it a podcast? Is it really a podcast or is it a documentary?
It's a podcast and it's literally just like 5 to 6 episodes. And I think that it could be like a short series. Yeah, 100,000%. Whether or not it makes it to that, who knows? But I grew up hearing these stories of my grandmother and they're so like fanciful in my head. And I can only imagine what my aunt's perspectives of those same stories are or what their additional stories are. The reason why I'm wanting to do this is because I feel her still. Like I feel the same person that I would sit next to on a couch that we couldn't speak to one another and we would just sit and watch TV together. And I still feel her today. So like, and I know that a lot of who was in her is in me. And I think that this would be a really interesting like look at an illegal immigration story, but also like start to answer some personal questions of like who I am and how much influence she's made in my life because she illegally immigrated to a country thousands of miles away from her family and everything that she knew. And while I didn't necessarily illegally immigrate to a country, I moved thousands of miles away from my family to a city that I didn't know anyone for a purpose. And like something thrusted me out here. And I know that something thrusted her out of her situation. So I don't know. I feel like it's like a little tickle in my spine that it's something I need to explore.
That's amazing. That's important.
It's really awesome.
Yeah. I think in 6 months when we have you back, we'll hear all about it. And I hope you come up with a cool title.
Yeah, if you need any extra voices, like I could be like a dog on the street.
Background. Yeah.
I could be a coyote.
Oh, no.
No.
Can you?
That's
guy
a
who
werewolf?
It's the guy who helps immigrants across
What's
the
it
border.
called? The people who do the sound effects, like the street
Foley
sound.
artist.
Or you can do the Foley art for it.
Hey, Isaac, where can we find you?
On the internet.
The internet.
Oh, okay. I was
that's
like,
what you want.
excuse me. You can find me on Scruff and Grindr. Just kidding.
But not.
But also like I am on those apps. The Isaac James, the Isaac James on everything.
Nice.
And that's
Your
Isaac,
Twitter,
ISAAC.
Your TikTok is very funny. You're funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm
think
gonna
you're
be
funny.
deleting a lot of the content, but because I Googled myself, which don't do. But when I did, I saw it was like me talking about fucking farts as like one of the first thing that pops up on my Google search.
That was smart. That was smart of you to do.
I mean, in the moment when I was talking about the farts, I was like, fuck
it's still
yeah,
there. It's
this
still
makes
there right
sense.
now.
I don't know.
You know,
Go get your before
sounds like a job for the listeners. Everybody get out there, Google Isaac James and go to his website. Don't look at his farts stuff.
Don't look at his farts. Don't listen to his
I
farts.
can't even look at my
Let's
farts.
change that algorithm. All right. So, we've done that part. Well, hey, would you come? Well, we know you're going to come back because you got to
6
tell
months.
us.
Yeah,
in
because
6 months.
this is good.
You want to set a date? Can we put a?
Sid's looking at
our
up her calendar
producer,
right now.
Our
Or
producer
we?
Sasha's pulling up the
No,
calendar.
Sid's got it open right now. Are we free in 6 months?
6 months from now.
I booked you.
November 17th.
Okay, great. Let me check to see if my agent emailed me.
Okay, so we are
Also
going
speaking that
to,
into existence. Not this 6 month check-in. But
we got to roll
we'll
right
see.
into this last little bit. It's something that we all know we have to do.
Let's do it.
every episode.
Oh no.
We get to do it.
It's called fake pitches.
Oh shit!
Bring up the wheel of pitches.
bitches.
And we are gonna spin that wheel.
Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh! Wow, that was down to the wire.
That would have been fun.
Do we have to sing in the song thing? Oh, thank
But
God.
I will. I'm
We'll
gonna sing.
do it.
I'm gonna sing my answer in word association. So, what is word association?
Okay, so word association is where our guest is going to say a word. He's going to say any word that he wants, and then that will make me say a word, whatever the first word that comes to my mind is, and then you will say a second word, and Sid will reply with a word,
And I'm gonna mediate.
and then
And how long
and
do we do this
the
for?
words that we say
2
No,
words.
Two.
Is
We
it
need
just
2
one
words.
time through?
I'm gonna point at you and I'm gonna say, "Tell me your first word in 3, 2, 1." What's the first word?
Organism.
Mike, associate.
Rubber tree. Is that
Rubber
one
tree.
word?
He said rubber tree.
That
All
one
right.
word?
What's your second word?
Tapestry.
Sid.
Medieval.
Medieval. All right.
Yeah.
Rubber tree. Medieval.
Oh.
Medieval rubber tree. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll put the
we
adjective
can
ahead of
do
it.
that.
Rubber
This is
tree.
English after all. Medieval rubber tree is that's our prompt. So this time we are. That actually is the title that we're doing. Medieval rubber tree is the title this week. You can pitch. You can pitch anything. It can be a-
it seems like Isaac has an idea. What? You want to see how it's done?
Seems like he has an idea.
Do you want to see how it? Okay. Well,
If you have an idea, it can be a movie, a book, a product, or whatever. What is it?
Oh, it's a book.
Okay, so tell us. Medieval rubber tree is.
It's the story about a tree that's in the middle of this medieval village. That every time the men die,
Yes.
the women take their rubber and they hammer it to the stump of the tree.
What?
And
What?
then so like the tree bark has now, since it's been centuries, the tree bark has like grown over the rubber. So now it's kind of this like rubbery.
Is there? Is this a narrative fiction book?
Fiction means it's not real, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, no, this is nonfiction.
Is there a main character? Okay. It's nonfiction. So
this is a true story.
No,
this really happened.
Based in reality.
This actually happened.
Okay.
Whoa!
I saw when I went to.
Hold on,
I
I'm
went
so
on a
sorry.
tour
That
in
changes
England.
everything.
No, it's fucked up.
Oh wow! You went on a tour.
Europe?
Where
in
in
Europe?
England? You said.
Yeah, it was somewhere in England. I got off of a train with my friend.
Okay. What was
Is
your
this
friend's
the place
name?
that they just discovered near Stonehenge?
No, that's in Scotland. But I mean, I think it actually. Maybe I was confused.
close.
I'm confused. No, it was.
Baby, we're all
It's the
confused.
UK. It's the UK.
The UK. That's
The UK. Is it?
Clippity
Is Stonehenge in Scotland?
Well, I'm going to buy that book.
I thought people were supposed to add on.
I was trying to help.
No, we're all
Sorry.
we're all doing our own thing this time.
So wait, so everybody is doing their own
You
story.
pitched a textbook about England.
That was my story.
Yeah.
And like it's a really sad tree. It's
So
an
what-
ugly tree
It's sad because the men died.
because the men died and it represents sorrow.
Yeah.
But also hope because the women are now single and ready to mingle.
Yeah. Wow. So that's I love when history gets a little sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a sexy time period
So-
too. So
My medieval rubber tree is actually it's a reality show where there's all these single ladies, and they found this tree in that you were actually that there's a book based on this legendary tree in England, somewhere in England, not near Stonehenge. That's Scotland. It's in England, and so this
I read
reality.
I read a Wikipedia article, so I probably
Yeah.
don't know much about this tree, but I've heard about it.
Right. So in ancient times, like men would die and women would put their rubber on the tree and it formed this big tree. Well, they've unearthed this tree, and in this reality show, there's a group of women. It's kind of like The Bachelor, right? But they get into medieval garb, and it's like a Renaissance fair meets The Bachelor, right? And it's fantastic. And yeah,
And the tree is sort of just the centerpiece.
the tree actually, yeah. Well, they pull off. They start deconstructing the tree. They pull off these pieces of rubber, and the rubber is flesh. It's actually the flesh of these men that have died. They took it off, right? I believe that's what it is. In the did we check the Wikipedia page?
Yeah, you looked it up.
They
I saw you on
deflesh
your
them?
phone. Yeah,
They
yeah.
deflesh
That's what the
them.
rubber. So they and then the bachelors wear this. It's grotesque, really. And the women, they choose the men of their
How many
They like
episodes in a season?
That's the 22. Well, I mean, until the writer's strike ends, they're going to just keep going with it.
Right, because this is unscripted. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Medieval Rubber Tree is a stop motion prequel to Gumby. And
Yes. That's a reference I feel like everyone's going to really cling strongly
I
to.
like this.
it is really where rubber met the road, and this tree formed way back in the day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in the medieval times, there's just this rubber tree in this rubber world. And instead of apples that fell from it, it was just these goops of rubber, one of which was an organism that gave life to what will be Gumby, the
Wow.
rubber figure.
Oh wow.
Oh, this is like Tree of Life. This is like
Yes.
Terrence Malick maybe directing this
Yeah.
one.
And
Yes.
I think Eddie Murphy is signed on as the goop.
And of
I would've
courth,
thought they'd gotten Gwyneth Paltrow for that.
Rob
You would think.
Schneider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rob's involved.
Yes, he is.
What's he up? What's he doing?
He's going to just be the
He's
tapestry
he's gaffing it.
in the
I was
back.
gonna ask that. Is he gapping? He's getting his fingers into everything.
Times is hard.
Medieval Rubber Tree is actually a wrestling event.
Oh.
Yeah, it's touring the Northeast United States and in Canada, which would, I guess that's the Southeast of Canada. It's touring, and it's based on this old form of fighting. It's like an old pugilism that they used to do in medieval times, especially in this one area, not close to Stonehenge, but somewhere in England, where this village had this tree. And there was a sort of a tradition with the women of the village to, like, when their men died, they would take the rubber or the skin of the man. They would take the skin or the rubber of the man and
Right.
nail it to the tree. Anyway, you can read about it on Wikipedia, and there's actually a book coming out too. So the event is based on a fight that people would used to climb up the tree, and they'd fight on top of it and try to push the other fighter off, and whoever was left on top of the tree was the winner. They're doing that in the Northeast, and I just wanted to
Challenge Brock Lesnar to a medieval rubber tree match next Sunday in Toronto. We're going to go all the way, baby, down to Niagara, and we're going to do it again there, and then we're going to Buffalo, and we're going to see you in Middlesex, Pennsylvania, and we're coming back, and we're going to run through Jersey, up the Palisades, all the way through New York, and into the Delaware, and we're going to round everything out on Madison Square Garden, so you better be there, be square, Brock Lesnar, or I'm going to do a Brock shot right off your belly button.
Ooh, that was
Wow. That was intense. That was
So good.
I can't wait to get home and Google Brock Lesnar.
Oh, you will not be disappointed.
well, yeah. We got to hear from our exec.
yeah. So
Wow. Oh. When your exec comes off mute to say, okay, so. You know, that's a bad sign.
the book is going to be self-published.
Right.
The reality show is a go because we don't have writers. The stop motion is put on hold because of the writer's strike.
Right.
And Brock Lesnar, good luck. Uncle Carlo's about to kick your ass.
Oh, shit.
You better end this podcast
Because Brock Lesnar better watch out, because Uncle Carlo is coming to the northeast of the United States to take you all the way up the medieval rubber tree and drop you like a planter full of burning cigarette butts onto the ground all over the northeast of the United States of America, where the president is George Washington, baby. Forever. Cutting down the cherry tree. I told you better in this podcast, or I'm coming for you, Brock Lesnar. I'm getting up. I'm coming for you, bro.
All right, everybody. It's been a great episode of Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday.
We lost a person that keeps it on the rails, so we are off the rails. Isaac, thank you so much for
This
being
was
here.
fun. Thanks for the laughs, guys.
You're coming back 6 months.
6
We'll
months.
see ya.
See you.
Comedy Filmmakers Motivation Monday, the podcast, is a production of Dark Matter Entertainment and Phantom Strain Pictures. Our producer is Sasha Nonis Barnes. Our theme song is by Joseph Colmenero. Find us online, on YouTube, on Instagram, @SydandMike, or email us at sydandmikenyc@gmail.com.